3, 2, 1. I'm using the new YouTube.
I'm watching YouTube right now, and I'll let you know when it pops up. It hasn't popped up yet, so I don't think it worked.
I think we're live. Let's just go with it. Keith, you want to do the intro?
Do we? what comes after 2?
Oh, we're good. We're live.
Okay, we're good.
We good.
Hi, everybody. I'm back. We are the Beerumverate. We are a group of guys from Sifty.net, plus associated guests who like talking about good beer and video games. Probably better at one or the other than the other, if that makes sense. Of course it does. I'm saying everything I say makes sense. We are not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. Any beers or breweries we may talk about aren't sponsoring us. Even Tenere Creek, even El Jefe, who Matt does not stop talking about their beer, and they're still not giving us any money, which means we can say the F-bomb as much as we like because we're not sponsored. If you like this videos, welcome to episode 40-something.
40-something?
Yeah, 40. It may be 43. I went back and counted and then lost track.
Yeah, so like we're on beer 47. What you're saying? Beer number 47.
I can work with that.
If you like this random crap that we're doing, please like and subscribe. If you would like to be on the show, please get in contact with Matt, Mitch, and myself on Sifty.net or Twitter. So, I actually hit up Corey rather than him wanting to be on this. So
I'm here against my will. It's fine.
Yeah,
this is fine.
I'm not.
Corey, what was the pickup line?
It was. Oh, I can. Would you like to know? Hold on. Let me see and show you what happens when McWomble slides into my DMs. Hold on a second. As a matter of fact,
I don't slide into DMs. I glide into DMs.
Okay, hold on. So it was this amazing. Oh man.
Can I delete them from my end before you actually read this?
Nope, too late. I got screenshots. It says, hey, Corey, got an episode of Beerumverate coming up on 13:30 Saturday. You free to drink beer and talk about gamer antics we don't get. Which I didn't understand what that meant. So
neither did I.
I was like, yeah, sure, I'm free. I could be available. I say like, now only say it if you mean it. I'll go. 1:30 my time. I'll be there. So we tried previously, but it didn't work out because Keith is on vacation and all sorts of stuff. Vacation.
Yeah, vacation. So speaking of which, let's just relive that moment.
Yeah.
Are you still on holiday?
Is that a picture from your vacation, dude?
That is a picture from the balcony of the hotel room that my wife and I stayed at.
That's awesome.
That's awesome
a good picture.
Pic. Yeah, I want to go.
And we all can't say vacation. We need to get into
holiday
language. He's on
holiday. Yeah, we go on
holiday.
Yeah. You have holidays, which is Christmas and Hanukkah and whatever else, because you're so obsessed with being so secular that you can't actually call it America.
We also have holidays sauce.
Oh, we do. Nice, Mitt. As a person that cooks religiously, that was well done. That's perfect. I like it.
Yeah, and there's nothing better than being on holiday with a hollandaise sauce. Oh.
Hollandaise.
There we go.
If you could cook it, if you're doing self-catering, you've got to do the holiday hollandaise.
There you go. That's it.
Like and subscribe. Right.
That was a hard cut.
Yeah, right. Smash that like button. Got it, guys. Ring that bell. Absolutely.
Right. Mitch, how are things in nearly Canada?
If you hear rumblings, it was raining. It might do it again, but good.
Okay. Matt, how are things in the plastic town of Las Vegas?
Cooling down. So it's finally sub 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your temperatures go from hot as shit to cooling down.
To bearable, yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because I didn't realize, Matt, that you live in Las Vegas because I'm from Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've lived everywhere from Henderson, Summerlin. My parents are there to this day.
Okay.
I went to high school out there, college, all that fun stuff. I went to UNR, so I went to Reno for college. I went to the Advanced Technologies Academy. I was a complete IT nerd back in the day off Martin Luther King Boulevard. Yeah, man, you want to talk Vegas? We can talk Vegas. Let's go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Nope, keep having me, friend. Ha ha.
Fuck's sake. Right, before we get into bits this week, I'd like to introduce our guest. Corey is a podcast. I don't know whether to go with aficionado or supremo. I'll let him choose.
I'm going to go with aficionado. We'll go with that.
Okay. 50% of a absolutely brilliant podcast called A Starting Point with someone who should be everyone's best friend, Brian Bentley.
Absolutely.
Generally all-round nice guy, Sifted.net user, and well, he was kind of full-time Twitch streamer.
Yep.
If you can go and look at the archives of 2 of his streams, quite possibly 2 of the best Twitch streams ever, I'll build up to number 1, which Corey may think of, because you gifted him that game.
Yes.
Number 1, Pizza Titan Ultra, one of the best Twitch streams I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Number 2, Shark Simulator.
Shark Dating Simulator, mind you. Shark Dating Simulator. One of those random games that came out, and Brian and I were talking on the podcast, and every now and then I'll find something ridiculous and I'll gift it to him. It's like $1.99. There's this like a catching a poop game where you have to like run around and like you walk and you try and catch poop from the sky. It's ridiculous. It was $1.99, so I bought it and I gifted it to him, and I was like, you have to play this on stream. And then Shark Dating Simulator came out, and I was like, I need you to play this. He's like, I need stuff to play. I was like, I bought you a game. You have to play this. So he ends up playing it. The stream is fantastic because the game is completely not safe for work. You get this anthropomorphic shark that has this woman's body in a bikini, and he has to spend the entire time dating her, and it's an absolute train wreck, and the episode is magnificent. But Keith, I feel we can top this because the new Colonel Sanders KFC dating simulator is out, and I'm like, it's time to make a comeback, Brian. We'll buy this game and gift it to you. We'll watch you on stream. I think it'll be great.
Well, we could top that with Corey streaming his favorite video game of all time.
Nope. Stop.
Maple Story for Corey.
You realize that this video stream is tagged Maple Story 2.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So it's going to show up on that game page.
I don't know how this started. It's just this running joke. I've been doing this podcast for almost 4 years now, and somehow Maple Story for Corey has come up over and over. Brian he knows I hate that game so much that I think I'm a World of Warcraft player. I'm a big Blizzard fanboy. So Maple
that
Story
was going to be my
hurts.
next question.
I was going to say the blanket behind kind of sells the advertisement.
Overwatch and Reinhardt and the World of War. Yeah, absolutely. This is actually my fiance's computer behind me. This is how we play WoW together, and Borderlands 3 and all that fun stuff. So she had to go do her nails. She's like, "Can I go play?" I was like, "No, you're gonna be behind me. I got a podcast." So she went to go get her nails done, but she set all this stuff up. But she's like, "We got to put all your World of Warcraft merch all up out there." I was like, "Great." But yeah, I think that my obsession with Blizzard and MMORPGs has gone above and beyond, and people are like, "Well, why not Maple Story? That's the new popular one." And it's a curse.
If anyone goes back and listens to any of the archived episodes of A Starting Point, you'll realize that Corey believes that Blizzard can do no wrong.
Correct. Absolutely. I, for one, welcome our Blizzard overlords. It's them or Mickey Mouse. Let's go.
So basically, you're the Nintendo
choice.
fanboy of Blizzard.
Yes. I'm the worst. I'm the worst type of fanboy. So I'm a fanboy of Blizzard. I'm a fanboy of Disney, and I'm a fanboy of Apple.
Ooh,
Literally,
I don't know if we'll get along.
Yeah, it's literally just reeks capitalism in my house. So it's
You're
one of those things.
gonna love my rumor.
I was thinking it's bringing Monopoly in the house.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that too. So
Yeah. We're going to
my
be talking about gamers' behavior. So fanboyism may come up, in which case you can, I don't know, just rub yourself with your Blizzard throw when we're talking about fanboyism.
I'm just gonna explain what it is, because everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, that behavior, those antics," and I'll be like, "It's me. It's totally me."
Yeah.
Or more like be taking the shots at him for his behavior.
yeah. Like, Corey, why? Sorry.
Yeah, Activision Blizzard are quite possibly one of the worst companies in the games industry, and Corey's just there. It's like, no, bring it on. I'll take it.
I would disagree. I think EA is worse.
EA.
I said one of the worst. So let's go with equal footing on disgraceful behaviorism. Behaviorism.
Valid.
There we go. That's a new word.
Good. We'll go with that. Coined
Right,
by McWomble.
Okay. Beers this week. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand.
Well, you've got like 6 of them, so.
Yeah, you're drinking until you're dying.
You're on holiday, so like, let's see what you got.
Well, I was. Right.
No, you still are.
No, you are. According to that picture. Yeah.
Background.
I'm
You're
gonna
on
have
holiday.
to turn this off, otherwise the cans and bottles won't show up properly in the. So I have East London Brewing Company Cowcatcher American IPA. We can do a vote for which one you want me to drink next. We have from not too far away from where I went to school.
Hey, Wimbledon, what up?
I like the label for that one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Then there's the Wimbledon Quartermain English IPA, which
I
is
love
slightly
the
stronger,
name,
6.3.
I like that. I just the sound.
Right.
Rolls.
Just,
And then
yeah.
And then this one, don't tell my wife, but I've got a Shoreditch blonde.
Oh, I thought the beer was called "Don't Tell My Wife."
I did the
like
same
that
thing,
name.
Mitch.
I like that name.
I did the same thing.
Right, so I'll leave it to you guys what I end up drinking.
I
next.
vote the Red Label Wimbledon IPA.
Yeah, also I would agree.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm a stickler for titles, so I was gonna say Quartermain, but you know that's just me.
Quartermain.
But I'm
Well,
out, so clearly
You're
I'm
outvoted. So let's go with the.
I am the weakest link. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Do you have any like? What is Wimbledon Brewery? Do you know anything about them?
They're
just
in
drink their beer?
Wimbledon, and they
Do
make
they
beer.
actually make the beer? Is that the like exclusive beer at Wimbledon?
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
No, it's not the beer of the tennis tournament. They're just a
Oh,
local brewery too.
gotcha.
Okay. All right.
There you go. So
Because most people don't think Wimbledon is an actual place, but it actually is a place.
Yeah, I went to most of my schooling life was spent in Wimbledon.
Because like the U.S. Open technically is in New York City, and like the Australian Open is technically in, I think it's in Sydney.
Okay, that's interesting. They reopened the brewery after it was ravaged by fire in 1889. So
John
1889.
McEnroe must have got pissed and burned down the building.
That's it. We're done.
1889 was a place in history that happened after the American Revolution, but before you started realizing history was a thing.
Oh wow, wow!
Shots fired.
Is every episode like this?
No, I'm just I'm on a bit of a funny mood today.
When
great,
he's
though.
outnumbered extremely, he gets really nervous.
That's valid.
Real
Yeah, I
nervous.
can see that.
It could have been worse. Brian could have been on, and there could have been 2 Bears fans on the show.
Oh God. Oh
Or Evan could be on. It would have been 2 Wisconsinites.
Oh,
Regardless.
wow. These are horrible. I mean, this is great. Thank you so much for having me.
yeah. Surprisingly bitter, actually, and really quite punchy in terms of the hoppiness. So 6.2, quite strong, which is why it only comes in 333 ml bottles.
No way he's going to finish all 6.
Oh, no chance.
What?
No chance. No,
I think that's a challenge.
Yeah. Right. Also,
It's a chug per segment. So after this segment with beers, you need to be done with that beer.
I like this idea. I support this idea 100%.
or we could turn it into every time Corey mentions Blizzard, I have to take a drink. But
Blizzard,
then,
Blizzard. No.
but no.
So I have an issue with your beer.
Ooh.
What the hell is with the glass? If you're gonna drink beer, please drink it out of the proper glassware, not something that looks like Tupperware.
Well, I don't. Well, because my wife and I are moving.
Oh,
my nice glasses are packed away, so unfortunately, I have to drink out of a soda glass.
I saw that. I'm like, I buy that. Those glasses. My kids have those glasses. Like, but okay, sure.
You let your kids drink beer out of soda glasses?
Root beer out of soda glasses, absolutely, 100%.
I'll admit, my dad gave me a beer when I was a kid.
How old were you when you say child? How old were you? This is live on YouTube, so this is recorded for posterity.
I had sips when I was a lot younger, like under 10.
Oh, okay, all right.
As every Wisconsin
my
child usually goes through that, is they introduce beer at a very young age, and then then you don't have to worry much about it later on in life.
Get rid of the
My
stigma right at the
family are
beginning.
Scottish, so
Oh, so you came out and it was in the bottle.
Yeah. Is it, well, I used to have
formula.
That is formula.
So what you would call a pacifier, we would call a dummy. And my mum and dad used to dip that in whiskey when I was teething. And then
it's almost insulting to just say, give him a dummy. just
give him a dummy. You're like, dang. Like dad walks in and you're like, oh.
Yeah. that has a very different meaning if you watch the Bill Burr Netflix thing about going and buying a dummy.
Oh my god.
Oh,
interesting.
I've new perspective. I see the world differently.
People haven't watched that, obviously. Right, let's move on swiftly. Matt, what are you drinking from Tenaya Creek this week?
I actually have a beer from St. Archer.
Ooh,
rub it in. It's a tropical IPA.
Shake it, everything.
Tropical IPA.
Yeah, so this is probably the closest I will get to a fruit beer. And I think you might actually like it, McWomble.
Ooh.
It's got hints of mango and passion fruit. So whereas most...
Do you know what? I very nearly bought a passion fruit ale
Did you?
just to try on the show. And then I just thought, no, I've tried it 6 times. I'm not fucking doing it anymore.
Actually, I bought this for my wife, but I tried it maybe a month ago, and I was like,
I don't think you'd like this.
I was like, I don't really remember what it tastes like. But whereas like most fruit beers, it tastes like they dumped just a bucket of concentrate into the beer while it was conditioning.
Yes.
This actually tastes like it's complemented. So whereas a normal IPA has the citrusy and the piney, the mango and the passion fruit complements it. It's not overpowering. It's still an IPA. It's still really bitter.
Matt, I've got something really important I need to ask you. Have you gotten over the fact that your Star Trek glass broke?
No.
Wait. Story. What?
It broke before.
Yeah. So was that
not
last,
today?
Was that last week when we did? No,
the week before.
Yeah, the week before.
I just wanted to check because I feel for you, brother.
Wait, what is this Star Trek glass? Wait a second. Do I need to send this to you? Do I need to find one at Amazon?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm concerned.
It was him. He bumped into it.
It was the Tenaya Creek glass that elbowed it off the shelf.
Listen, Tenaya Creek is a national treasure.
Yeah, it is. No, but my wife bought me a set of 3 glasses, and they're etched with the symbols. So one was the command symbol, one was the science symbol, one was engineering and security.
That's cool.
And I was pulling another glass out of the cupboard, and this glass, the command glass, was stuck, and it fell off and shattered.
Was the glass red? Was it part of the away team? Is that what happened?
No, it was the command symbol, which is even more tragic. Because if it had been the security symbol, I could have dealt with it, you know.
Yeah.
But
it was the command symbol. So you're just like,
one thing I should point out is the command glass should have gone on top.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
It would never have happened if you'd followed the chain of command.
This is true, yeah.
Well, you know what they say about the higher you put it on top, the farther it falls.
Oh. Touche. So
that means if it's going to fall, it's really going to break.
It's going to fall hard.
Right. That's funny. Sorry about that. Corey, I don't know if you know, but my wife actually said to me at one point, we did if you watched the show where Shane was on, after watching that, my wife said to me, Matt seems nice. Why don't you let him talk?
That's valid.
Which, to be truthfully honest, I ended up talking to Matt after that episode, going like, I think I cut you off like 7 times, and I'm so sorry. I apologize to Matt.
So your beer, Matt.
Yes.
So
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'm not a fan of putting fruit in beer at all.
No, but yeah, like I said, this is like you can't even really tell. It's just got subtle hints.
So I have a recommendation for you. If you can find it, if not, I could probably ship it to you. We have Shiner out here in Texas, Shiner Box, Shiner Beer, whatever. And they make the only beer that I'll drink that has fruit in it. It's called a Ruby Red Grapefruit. It's spectacular. It's literally a summer ale that you can just sit out on your back porch and just drink. It's a sipping beer, really good, very clean, not overpowering, not a lot of sweetness, just pungent flavors. It's the only beer that I will drink that has fruit in it. The only beer.
Nice.
Would recommend if you can see it. It's seasonal too, so it's like you can't get it now because it's already past summer. So it's like you can't find it. But next year, I guarantee you, beginning of like end of May, early June, it'll be out in bulk. Just grab it when you can.
All right.
I just need to fly out to Texas to stock up.
Oh, if you are ever in Texas, please call me. We will drink so much. There's so many breweries I can take you to.
Yeah, Uber would do a good deal out of us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right, Mitch, you're not on call this week?
No, I am on call.
Boo.
But I'm going with the stigma and drinking my Mountain Dew.
Oh. We're going to talk about this.
And my microwave might be beeping later for something nice and warm.
I don't know what these things are. Someone mentioned Hot Pockets. What are these?
It better be a Hot Pocket.
You don't know what they are?
No.
You don't know what a Hot Pocket is?
How much can I don't know how much expensive it would be to send a Hot Pocket to the UK.
Well, you have to have it sent frozen, so you gotta do dry ice.
Dry ice.
But at least the Hot Pocket's cheap. It's like $2.
But then you're also sending like Tostino's pizza rolls too, right?
Yeah,
like you can't send if you're gonna go hard.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah.
Okay, I've got an idea now when you said pizza rolls.
It's basically an enlarged pizza roll. That looks like have you ever had a panini?
Yeah.
It's a miniature panini before paninis ever became paninis.
Kind of.
Maybe.
But thicker.
Go with it.
And if you cook them long enough and the right amount of time, it's like lava cheese. It's so fucking hot.
Oh yeah, it's literally melted cheese and sauce.
Wait, I can do this.
Meat inside.
I can do this comparison. So they have actually one that has like cheese, meat, and mushrooms in it. So it's pretty much like the poor man's beef Wellington.
That's a good one. Okay. Okay, I'll go with that.
Right.
Beef Wellington doesn't have cheese.
They don't do like they don't always do pizza ones. They sometimes do like I've always did like ham and cheese as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like melted cheese and ham in it.
And they have the breakfast ones. If you haven't had the breakfast ones, dude.
No, I never had the breakfast ones.
Oh, dude, the little bit of sausage and cheese. And then, oof.
Okay.
Keith is like, these are clearly American. Every one of them has cheese.
Yep. Cheese, meat, and bread.
They're
probably not nice cheese either. Cheese that tastes like plastic.
Matt literally called it lava cheese. So.
And did you hear how much the thing costs? It's $2 for 2 of them.
Yeah. It's not going to be good quality cheese.
You get your money's worth.
You're not getting a Gouda Hot Pocket. You're getting like.
Do you mean Gouda?
Not with naturally born raised meats inside. It's all processed crap.
Gouda.
Right. Talking about processed crap. Corey, what are you drinking?
Wow. So I actually
about the beer, not the person. Let's just be clear.
I was just about to clarify that.
Hate all of you. Anyways, so I had to find a local beer because I figured Beerumverate bring on something local. So Yellow Rose from Lone Pint Brewery. Love that little label right there.
I like that.
So I really like Lone Pint's really cool. They're here out of Texas. They do machines from California. They do something in Nevada. I think they have a brew house and tanks from Nevada directly, and the boilers from Pennsylvania. The kegging machine is from California, so they got a little bit of everything thrown in there. Their mill is like from Canada, which is weird. But yeah, they're an awesome beer company. You guys can check them out at lonepint.com. Yellow Rose is one of those beers. It's an IPA that when you go to a bar, it's usually sold out before the end of the night. Like the keg is gone every single time.
Wow.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone for like a late dinner and sat down. I'm like, man, you know what I really want? A Lone Pint. Let me get that Yellow Rose. And they're like, that's been gone for like 2 hours. I'm like, okay, great. But you can buy them, but they only come in 4-packs. So that's the other caveat. So the ABV on this one though is 6.8. And about
strong.
It's quite strong. I don't know. I drink like 10 usually. I'm a big Trappist ale fan, so I'm big into like high 80, 10, 12%. I want a bottle of wine in like a small bottle. It's got like 62 IBUs, so it's a pretty solid IPA. Single hop, single malt, so dry hops. It's good. It's very good. They don't chop up their hops. They put everything in fresh. They don't like laser cut anything. They just dump
Do
everything
they
in there.
do double hopping that much?
They can on a couple of the beers. Some of the seasonals they do, but honestly, they just take everything. They literally just take all the cone hops and just drop them in. No filtration, no pasteurization, and they always say no laser beams because that's how they don't do the cutting. But yeah, man, it's really good. I would highly recommend it, especially for IPA fans. So again, I'm just gonna make like a package and send one to each of you guys and be like, hey, here's some Texas beers you guys should drink, or you guys can come to PAX South and we'll go drinking. You can go on, Keith, come on holiday.
I would love to.
Brian,
yeah, my wife and I are talking about where do we want to go on our next holiday, and we both say we'd love to go to the States, but we can't afford it.
That's true. It is expensive to come over here, but if you need a place to stay, I got a place for you to stay. I'll put you in an Airbnb. It's cool.
Yeah, I've got a place for you to stay, but it's not where you're
not
I'll
here.
cook you a hollandaise on holiday.
I would make you a hollandaise on holiday. I would do that.
Yeah, I prefer that. Didn't you do a decent looking ramen the other day?
I did do ramen the other day. I actually did a fried rice also. So just a lot of cooking happening in my house. So whatever. Yeah. Video games and cooking. It's what I do.
And beer and podcasts and streaming.
Everything else. And then I'm a dad on top of all that. So
yeah. And work. Where do you find the time?
If you give up sleep, there's so much that you can do. So much. Just stop sleeping. You waste so many hours sleeping. Power nap, 20 minutes at a time. You're great.
Right. Rumors. Mitch, Code Vein.
Ooh, yes.
Oh yeah. So my source has been great lately. Like they've been enjoying themselves. I gave them a holiday when you went on holiday. So,
that was very kind of you.
That was very kind. I haven't done anything nice for them lately. Showing that Kojima stuff was just a little bit too much for him. I needed to give him a holiday. Like Jeff Keighley and him together, it's just too much to handle consistently. So anyways, so I was like, oh my gosh, I saw there was a demo for Code Vein on PSN, which I tried. I actually enjoyed it a lot. If you like I like Bloodborne. So, and we'll get to Bloodborne when we talk about the topic, one of the topics. But when I enjoyed Bloodborne, and so I was like this is the next best thing. Like I enjoy anime, so it's like a good anime story built into a Bloodborne type game. I like this. I'm enjoying it. And I was like, dude, why do I not get demos as often anymore? And so I texted my source really quick. I said, dude, I know you're on holiday, but can you just help me out? And he's like, okay, I will. And he's like, they did that because they forgot that no one puts demos out anymore. It was an accident. That was supposed to be at TGS this year, and they accidentally put it on PSN. And they're just like, shoot. And they can't change it now because they're gonna get blowback. So they can't go back.
How do you accidentally deploy a demo?
They clicked the wrong button. There was PSN and TGS on the same drop down screen, and apparently the guy was looking the other way because the dude asked him, "Hey, do you want to go out for beer?" And he's like, "Sure." And then all of a sudden he flipped the cursor just a little bit higher when he turned around and clicked the button, and then he turned around and realized he sent it. It's too late. Once it's on the internet,
you can't take it back.
It's live. It's live.
It's live. People would have
unless you're Konami.
Yeah, then you can take back whatever you want.
Your contracts. You can take back Kojima if you want.
No, really, they could. They could probably get him back and just be like, well,
just forget everything.
Forget
everything.
Yeah.
Take backs. So that's mine. What do you got, Mick Womble? Because you got to go first.
Right. So everyone's minds were blown at the unveiling of the iPhone 11 Plus.
Except for Mitch Sikorsky, who is not blown by any of this, but that's just
not one, not two, but 3 cameras on a phone.
Mine will be here in 2 weeks.
Right. So, the iPhone 12.
11.
Shut up. This is my rumor. So when the iPhone 12 comes out, how do you go one better than 3 cameras?
Quite simple.
4
no,
cameras.
Stop it.
4 cameras.
No.
But that's not just it. The iPhone 12 is going to come with PlayStation and Connect support. So your iPhone 12 can be your Connect device for Xbox or your PlayStation camera
For PlayStation VR.
And that 4th camera is going to be dedicated just for that.
And you know the reason why they're doing that is because they have to compensate, because unfortunately Google with their Stadia only needs 1 camera.
This is horrible.
They need to compensate for something.
They're overcompensating for something. Right, Matt.
So
Follow that one.
The ghost of Steve Jobs came to me in a dream.
Oh,
the other
man.
night.
That must have been an experience.
It was quite something. The black turtleneck, the jeans, everything. It was extremely vivid. And he said,
Was
to
he
me,
wearing his stuff from like the olden times, or did he upgrade and like, you know, wear a kind of a turtleneck, but it was like a modern 2019 turtleneck with some jeans, you know?
well, he was
fit.
he was coming over from the other side, so it was like a black turtleneck woven out of ebony silk.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fancy.
But
he must
he-
have really been good boy to go to heaven.
and he told me, he said, McWomble's going to tell you something. He's going to tell you about the iPhone 12. But what he doesn't know is about the iPhone 12 SR Max, which will be revealed 6 months after the iPhone 12. And he told me it's going to be an amazing phone. And it's, most people have their phone contracts. They can't handle, 4 and 5 phones and all these payments. So the iPhone SR Max will be the low cost of a kidney. And it will come with an ice, with a bathtub full of ice, free.
So what does SR stand for?
I have no idea.
Shit, really?
Unfortunately,
X?
unfortunately, Corey, I have to ask,
Sure.
will you give your kidney for this phone?
I have
And if so, what happens if there's another one that comes out and the cost is another kidney? You don't have any kidneys to
Well, then Corey moves on to his kids.
Yeah, like then there's in my house, there's 4 of us, so that's technically 4 kidneys, so everybody gets a phone. Or
Yeah.
I just use their kidneys for my upgrades.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
do
so,
that.
you can last for what, 4 kids? That's 2 years worth of
That's
kids.
at least 2 years of kids, 2 years per kid. So and they'd be fine. Yeah, so 2, 4. So that gives me at least 8 years of iPhone products by that time, and by that age, I should be able to just hook it into my vein. Like the Apple Watch should just be like embedded into my wrist, right? Is that not how Cyberpunk works? No,
I thought it was going to be engraved in your eye.
I would also take that. Yeah, with contact lenses, and then it just like attaches to your. Then Apple can just see everything that I see and know exactly what I'm doing all the time.
And then
That's one
constantly looking like
fucking massive
Professor X,
contact
because you're going to
lens.
touch your your hands to your forehead looking like Professor X.
I'm doing it now. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wasn't that like a Google Glass hole thing? That's not an iPhone thing. That's Google Glass. That's.
I thought you were throwing an insult then. You Google glass hole.
I mean,
You're a total glass hole.
Well, at least I'm not overcompensating for more than 1 camera.
wow. I actually do have a rumor. I didn't have one, but now that I remember, a friend of mine told me about the new Cyberpunk 2077 announcement. It's gonna have multiplayer. It's gonna be a MOBA. It's gonna be survival. It's gonna be integrated Minecraft. So you're gonna be able to do all multiplayer games in a single platform. CD Projekt Red has announced, or is going to announce, you'll get everything. You'll do it all. You'll have the DayZ mod. You'll have the Minecraft mod. You'll have the Overwatch mod. You'll be able to do anything in this open world style game, and I'm super excited about that. So
basically, your rumor is that CD Projekt Red have announced the end of the video games industry.
yeah, you won't have to play anything else because it's all in Cyberpunk 2077.
No, the real rumor is that they've hired Sean Murray as their PR guy.
Oh wow!
We should be saving some of these for the next show.
Not right, like somebody's really put those in the pocket and save them for next time. So
so basically you're saying they get to go into an arcade and Minecraft's going to be in that arcade. They sit down and all of a sudden you're in the server of Minecraft and can start playing Minecraft instantaneously.
And more than likely it's going to link up with your Apple phone anyways, so you'll be fine.
Well, and then you also do have to tape your iPhone to your forehead so it registers that you're playing the game.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that iteration is next year, and then 2 years from now we'll have an upgrade. It'll be fine.
Oh, upgrade, and then it doesn't have to be taped. It can just
then it has to be taped.
Hold it. You can just hold it.
Yeah, sure.
It just floats in front of your face.
on a string, like
just hanging in front of you like this.
You're like, in front of your face. And the three cameras must be facing the console or else it doesn't work. Horrible.
Right, we're totally ruining this episode, but I don't mind because I'm having fun. Are you having fun? Everyone's having fun. Good.
Indeed,
Nod along if you're with me. Knock on wood if you're with me.
I don't have wood around me to knock on.
Okay.
Wow.
No one else has been watching Hard Knocks. Right. So the actual item for this show.
Wait, we have the
wrote a brief intro. Gamers get tagged with a lot of stigma because of the behavior and antics of the gamer population. I don't want us to focus on some of the high-profile shit that people get up to, like swatting or the Gamergate scandal, but rather talk about the everyday type stuff that people get up to, or the stigma that gets attached to gamers that we don't like or just don't understand or don't get. We don't get it. This isn't about being old necessarily, because I think I'm still the oldest person on this show.
No.
We can talk about that afterwards.
We'll do this off camera.
Off camera age, check. This is about us, probably mainly me, being identified as something we don't want to associate with other people's behavior. Right. So I jotted down some questions, and Corey, I kind of hit you up for this episode because you and Brian have talked about this on and off various times over the 4,000 or so episodes of the Starting Point that you've done. But kind of just throwing some questions out there, and I thought about these because I've got answers to all three straight off. So what aspects or actions of gamer behavior do we not really get or understand? Have we slipped into exhibiting that bad behavior? I know you fucking have. Who am I pointing at? That's the thing that no one knows.
All of us just went back and was like, oh no.
Gotta pull up my dirty laundry.
Yeah. Why does it seem so prevalent in gaming and not necessarily other types of media?
Oh, that's easy.
That's an easy one. That's not a legit question.
That's an easy answer, but okay. I like that question.
Yeah, the internet would be the answer to. Yeah. So aspects of I'll kick us off. Aspects of gaming culture or gaming behavior that I don't understand. Entitlement.
Okay. All right.
Examples, please.
Yeah. I've got all the examples.
A recent one. Like, yeah, absolutely.
So things like Final Fantasy VII Remake. So people are coming out and saying, finally, this is the Final Fantasy, Final 7 final version that we deserve. Why?
And they've added,
why do you deserve this
regular
version?
turn-based battle too.
Yeah.
Why do you deserve to get this?
Because I spent money on things.
Yeah, but that I spent money on. Do you know? Have you seen Matt's credit card bill for Teneo Creek? Does he feel like he deserves a free case of beer?
He probably does, at least a keg.
He probably does.
Yeah, he'll probably go up to them and say, hey, this is how much I spent on you. Is there not like a discount offer I get because I spent so much at your place?
I feel Matt just walks in there and he like takes his phone and he's all like, do you know who I am? And he like swipes through and goes to the episodes and it was like, here's me talking about you all the time.
This is how many viewers we got.
Where's my free beer?
Yeah. This was the episode where I talked about you and we had 44 views.
Wow. You guys are making it. Let's be clear. If I go home and go back to Vegas to visit my family, the first thing I'm doing is calling Matt and going, "Let's go to Tenaya Creek," and just gonna take a picture and send it to you guys. And that's gonna happen.
Yeah, see, this is why the internet is supremely cool, but also can be supremely shit at the same time.
Absolutely, with good comes bad.
Yeah. Final Fantasy. My personal slipping into the entitled gamer trope was when EA decided to not ship Mass Effect 2 to the game resale store in the UK because they wanted to restructure their deal around game sales. So Game in this country were having some financial difficulties, EA said, and that meant that no one could get any games from EA for however long it was, including already pre-ordered copies of Mass Effect 2. So I had to rush to get a Amazon pre-order for the collector's edition, because if I wasn't getting that collector's edition, I was not fucking happy. But so where did my behavior turn bad? I sent a Facebook post, or I wrote on EA's Facebook page something nasty around, do you realize that how many fans of these games that you are screwing over just because you don't want to renegotiate a payment option with this company? Frankly, thinking about it down the line, that's got nothing to do with anything. This is a business decision, and I should have wound my goddamn neck in and not posted that. And I thought about it for a couple of days afterwards, went back online and deleted the post.
Good.
Okay.
I think where the connection comes into play is really where, these games, we connect to them personally in some aspect, in a way, like you connect with Mass Effect. You love the characters, you love the story, you love the gameplay, and you just love it. And so unfortunately, the way they kind of market it, they know that you love it. And so they're going to market it like you're a part of it. And so obviously, if it doesn't go the way you want it to, you feel like you're part of the team and they let you down. And so you feel entitled because you're like, well, they make me feel like I am a part of this, that I own a piece of this because I bought this game and I enjoyed this game and I talk amazingly about this game. I own it in some portion, which when you think in mindset, you really don't own it. You're really just a fan of it. But you can use the example as McWomble right now, you're wearing a Tennessee Titans jersey. As I wear a Bears jersey.
Oh, am I?
We feel entitled to our team, that they don't owe us jack crap or jack Hadouken. But they don't owe us anything. But yet we feel that because we invest in them with our time and our money, that we feel that we need an outcome out of it. And so I think that's for anything that's any kind of entertainment. You run that to television, sports, movies, TV, video games, any kind of...
The ending of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like literally anything that you consume as an entertainment. Unfortunately, the way the marketing and it works, because they do it every time and people fall for it, they want to make you feel you are a part of it. And if you feel a part of it, you feel involved. And when things don't go your way that you personally don't like about it, it makes you feel like, well, I own a part of this, so I should make my thing loud clear. Example for you, McWomble, you felt loud and clear that, yes, it's a business decision. But in your mind at that moment, you felt that I'm entitled to buy this game at this store instead of having to take my time to go online and order it online and try to find the right copy of the game that I want. You as the store owner should own my game, not you as the store owner should work out a negotiation to get the game. No, you want my game. And I think that's the issue, it's entitlement of owning the property.
So I'm going to give a flip side on that, actually. and that is that we do also have developers, publishers, creators that will change content based off of feedback. Such current selections as the Sonic movie. That trailer came out. There was a lot of backlash. And as a business, you have to make things that are going to it's going to bring an audience in. So knowing ahead of time that you get a lot of backlash, a lot of feedback, you go, oh no, this is gonna fail. Probably want to shrink his legs. Let's go back to the drawing boards and delay what we're doing, and then presenting.
Let's maybe give him some gloves and make him look less like he's going to kill everyone.
If only we had some content.
Am I talking about Sonic or Jim Carrey?
Got him. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like, you have the source material, you really shouldn't try and reinvent anything. And then you have people like EA and all these companies that need to produce new games for us as nostalgic gamers, but also still apply to new gamers, younger gamers. Like, my kids are gamers. My son is a big Roblox fan. My daughter's into Minecraft and World of Warcraft, but they're playing it at this stage with classic vanilla.
Can I interject?
Sure.
Are you introducing your daughter to modern WoW, or as some people would call it, real WoW?
Retail WoW is the consideration. It's considered retail because it's what you're buying in theoretically out of box. And then we have classic. I am not introducing her to classic because I don't think she's going to enjoy it as much. She enjoys having the cookie crumb, quests, breadcrumb quests coming forward. She enjoys being able to find things on the map. She doesn't want it to be a hard game. She wants it to be a game that she can enjoy. So you now have a company that we will say Blizzard, drink McWomble, and they will do classic to accommodate to our classic, or my nostalgia, me, the person that has been playing for 15 years, versus my child who would prefer to play the new stuff. So you have to always think about that from a business perspective, because how do you blend those two together? In some situations, you can't, and you have to keep those two things separate. I guarantee that if people were like, hey, we remastered Mass Effect for the umpteenth time, all the players from Mass Effect when it was first out before 3, 1 and 2 would be like, this is great, it's everything I wanted. But at the same time,
do you know what? That would be really good. Rather than them just doing it for the umpteenth time, if they just did it once.
Right?
Once would be good.
Sure. But that's the thing, is that we have an entire generation of gamers that we prefer. We have the entitlement because we go, I was there when it started. I just want that same nostalgia. So how does a company go, yeah, but I don't want to remake the same thing that we already did 15, 20 years ago. I would prefer to move on and progress. Let's make it a mobile game, right? Like those.
No, absolutely. Like, there's an example I could use with something that didn't render with me currently that will render more with the Final Fantasy VII remake. Mm-hmm. I did play Final Fantasy VII. I'm right now trying to finish 8 right now. And thank God for the fast forwards on the remake of it. I mean, not the remaster of it, because that game is really slow story-wise. You have to grind a lot. And that's not what I grew up as a gamer with. Like, my first game was my first console was a PlayStation 1, but that was when I was 5-6 years old. My real time experience in games was PS2, and games changed during that time frame.
Do you remember how you would measure your time and how far you were in Final Fantasy VII? I'm on disc 2 of 4. That's how you were told people where you were at, right?
Burkhoff and I were just having that conversation because they don't do discs on the remade that they do. So the only thing I know I'm on a disc is I look at a walkthrough and know, oh yeah, I'm on end of disc 2 into 3 right now.
So you can do the same thing for the mobile option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get off on a huge tangent about nostalgia, the one thing I do want to point out is, I think that, yes, the entitlement is a stigma, but it's also something that's reinforced by the publishers. Because they don't have PR departments anymore. They have community managers, and they have, they have relationships with these people who are influencers. You know what I mean? So I think some of that has to. It doesn't just fall on quote unquote gamers. I mean, it also falls on, the way that the industry is sort of moving.
It's the community, right?
No, I agree 100% in that aspect. And I think your argument and my argument actually reinforce each other.
Correct.
we influence, because we feel like we have ownership, we influence what happens in something. So like the example of Mass Effect 3, I think that's the biggest one we could ever say is
I was going to come on to that one, but so it's good segue there, Mitch.
Yeah, a big group of people influencing a game publisher to do something more, but yet they didn't change what they wanted, which is, I think, is really important. I think a big aspect of everything is that it's always unfortunate when people try to force change with something that they feel like they own, but they don't know. So like an example, Mass Effect 3, it's not our story to tell for the ending. We don't know how that story was supposed to end in the first place. It's not our story to tell. But for them to maybe take some extra time to figure out a way to tell that story, to help fill in some blanks of understanding of like, how did we get from A to B? At least that in the way helped mediate some of the issues that people had with it. But I like the ending overall personally of Mass Effect 3. I actually enjoy that they give you choice at the end. The whole point of that game is choice, and I love that. But I
think that it comes onto that's a very, very neat kind of roll onto the next topic, which is rage.
Oh yeah. All gamers are angry. Let's be very clear, right? We're all mad all the time.
We're all Bruce Banner. We're just holding the Hulk in.
Yeah. But the trick is I'm always angry. So
yeah. The thing with the ending of Mass Effect 3, I didn't understand where the rage came from, because frankly, if you link the entitlement with rage, you say, this wasn't the ending that I thought it was going to be. Well, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
These people took years of their life to write this story. Why do you feel like it wasn't your ending? It was never your ending.
Right.
But we go back to the community discussion, right? Communities build these worlds, how they think it should end and how they think it should tie in. And based off of the stuff that they've researched, this is clearly how it's going to go. And it doesn't go that way. And we're like, rather than saying the community was wrong, we say the developer was wrong.
Yeah. And unfortunately, what feeds into that is people love, as games have grown, the story, the plot has, in telling stories in games has deepened in a way we've never thought we could ever experience before, of telling really complex stories. There are some things where you can now nitpick things in games, like you could in movies and TV shows, to say, because of this and how the story is made, this is how I predict the future is going to be.
Yeah.
And then when it doesn't live to that expectation, when you have a community of people, and it's unfortunate for all medias that it takes years for these projects to happen. And so how do you engage the community while that happens? The only way to do that is for people to speculate. Think of what the story is going to be. Heck, look what happened to Game of Thrones. It was gone for 2 years. And all of a sudden they were just constantly saying, oh, this is what we're going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And then when it didn't go the way they wanted it to,
that was the wrong ending.
I love that one.
Yeah, they said it's the wrong ending, and I think that's just really unfortunate for them, because I know you can just say, I don't like the story and the way they took the way they took that story to go. It wasn't the way I would imagine them taking it, but for them to say that's not my ending,
and the thing that would, I think there would have been just as much outrage at the ending of Mass Effect 3. And thank fuck Evan's not on this episode. There would have been just as much outrage at the end of Mass Effect 3 if they'd put in some kind of algorithmic equation to say that you made this choice in this situation from Mass Effect 1 all the way through to Mass Effect 3, therefore you get this ending. And
you could use the example of some people don't like Mass Effect 2 as much because they don't like the suicide mission of having the game predetermined for you based off what you've done already of who's going to live and who's going to die. Because it's like, well, you're kind of just decided it for me, not me actually like going through it and actually them, dying in front of me in combat or something instead of doing it in a cutscene.
So I'm going to chime in because I'm very curious. Matt,
because Corey doesn't.
What has happened? Have you ever had this happen? What? Like what this moment, right? Like I'm not a Mass Effect 3 player. I'm not a Mass Effect 2 or 1 player. I'm not a Mass Effect player. Okay. Have you ever had a game?
Because there's no microtransactions. Corey loves the microtransactions.
It's the natural order of things. Just accept it, Womble. So Matt, think of a game that you've ever had this happen to. Like, has anything happened to you that you're just like, that is not what I wanted? Blah, I'm out.
I don't think so. I mean,
right?
Matt's too chill.
But look, we have 3 people in this group that are just like, oh my god, yeah, I don't understand why everybody was all up in arms. And then Matt's like, no, I'm cool. It's great. That's all my games end the way that I think they're gonna end.
Well, I mean, for the most part, like I actually did like the ending to Mass Effect 3. And I remember playing through it, and then I went through and played through the trilogy again, and then they announced the director's cut, and I was like, okay, well, I get why people are pissed. I'll check out this DLC. And it was like, oh, that's cool. It added more shit to the end.
That's what I thought, exactly.
You know,
cool.
Like,
more story. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
Matt is the most chill person you'll ever meet in your life.
But no, I think I will question it to Matt, because didn't you tell me you didn't like Mass Effect 2 Suicide Run?
Ooh.
I don't like the fucking Super Reaper person at the end. I thought it was stupid, but
okay.
I didn't hate it. You know, it
Were
was
you like, change it now?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get on the internet and be like, you guys fucked this up, and you know, yeah.
Nobody likes your game. God, why are you making it 3?
Yeah. So I don't know. Mitch, you said it's unfortunate that people feel this way, and I think that that's the key word here. It's unfortunate because there are aspects like Corey, you probably know about WoW Red Shirt Kid.
Yeah, I do.
Right? He showed up like every year at BlizzCon for 7 years or something and had this question, and it was all because of the one lore question that he asked that stumped the developers, and they're like, we have no idea, like, how you even spotted that, you know? So, I mean, there are good aspects to it, but I think, you know, getting more...
Get a fucking life.
But here's the thing, though. I think
Jesus Christ, he had one question about World of Warcraft that the developers couldn't answer, and he asked the same question for 7 years at BlizzCon.
No, it was a different question every year.
It was a different question every year.
Yeah.
And he always stumped them. But listen, it's lore, right? Like, it's one of those things that it gets deep. The issue is that I don't think that gamers, and this goes back to the stigma, we don't realize these are businesses, these are creative directors, these are creative entities.
Do.
No, we do not.
No, they don't.
We do.
No, don't. McWomble, you are an outlier. Don't even count yourself in this.
Yep. No. As an adult, we totally do. As a community, we don't. We forget. Perfect example. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the game Cube World. So there was a guy named Wally that 6 years ago created a game it's a voxel-based game called Cube World. It wasn't an MMORPG. It was like a group play game. You could hop in with friends. It was voxel-based. It was very cool. And a lot of us, I say us because I, myself included, spent like $20 and bought the alpha because we were having so much fun. And he was adding stuff to it, and he was doing all these really cool things. And it became this really lush world. And we would have, there were streamers that I was watching that were playing it and all sorts of fun stuff. And then all of a sudden, it stopped. We weren't getting updates. We weren't getting anything. There was no development. There was nothing. It was the end of the alpha, and then he kind of went quiet. And we were all like, is he okay? Is everything all right? And then for 6 years, we heard nothing. Every now and then, like a little update. I'm still alive, guys. Everything's cool. Keep going. And everybody's like, so are we getting something? 6 years. People stopped paying attention to this game because we never thought it was going to happen. It was a dead product. It was like a dead Kickstarter, basically. And then recently, within like the last 2 weeks, he just announced, he's like, oh, by the way, guys, fun facts, we'll be live on Steam here in a couple weeks. And the internet went, what? Where have you been for 6 years? What just happened? And we lost it. We were like, and then he's like, here's some gameplay of what a mage plays like. Here's some gameplay as to some boss battles and dungeons. Here's all these screenshots. And then he had to post a blog post to explain. He went, 6 years ago, I was working on this game. I'm the only developer on this game. He goes, I'm building this thing from scratch. I'm building this massive world by myself. It's just a thing that I want to do. I got DDoSed. He goes, I got a lot of negative feedback. He got destroyed by the community because they're like, you should have this and you should do this. And he's like, I can't. It was just too overwhelming for him. So he just fell off the grid and was like, you know what? I'm just going to work on this in my own time and ignore everybody, and disappeared. 6 years later, he goes, hey, so I'm releasing this as a full game now because this is what you guys wanted. It's going to be on Steam. Also, if you bought it and supported me as an alpha player, you get a free Steam key. And we're like, Yes, absolutely. It's what we all wanted, but we didn't have any input. The community had nothing to say. We complained, we were upset, we were watching for updates, but nobody had any feedback because we had nothing to see. We had no content to argue about and say, that's not what I would do, until it's almost ready for launch. Then we're like, oh, it's everything that we wanted. This is brilliant on his part, because he's like, I didn't involve the community, so I got to build the game that I wanted to build. And if you want to still support it, you can buy it. If not, whatever. But he got to build what he wanted to build. And I feel sometimes gamers forget there are people on the other side. There are people that have to deal with this. There is a business aspect. And if you don't take that into account, there could be budget cuts, people being fired that we don't know about. And it may not be some huge EA firing, but it could be something smaller scale. We don't take that into account. We're just like, give me my content because it's what I deserve. So.
Yeah, and I think the biggest element you're talking about is the sense of community.
Sure.
Right? That's unfortunately for gamers, like, yes, gaming can be a extremely social type environment, but yet can also be such a lonely type of environment too. Sure. If that's the thing that you're passionate about, that's the thing you constantly do. For someone like myself, that I don't constantly, that's not the only thing I do. I go play sports with friends, I do other stuff, and that's usually what the general gamer does. But the people that really care about these properties, care about these worlds, they have a community that help reinforce each other, that help reinforce their thoughts and feelings about these things. And so when things don't go the one person's way, and they talk about within the community, as we've all have stated, even when Shane was on the show, like, negative spreads real easily. Hate spreads faster than good. So it's real easy to say, hey, I don't like it like this. And then all of a sudden someone feeds off of that. And all of a sudden it becomes extremely negative, where maybe that one point they made was actually a good point and it wasn't meant as extreme negative, but someone took it and went, oh, well, I think it's way worse than that, and just tries to add on to the hate.
And we see it with Hideo Kojima. We see it with, Cyberpunk 2077, all these things of thoughts of what this could be, thoughts of grandeur, right? Like, what is this game going to be? What are all the things that they could possibly do? And then that's it. And it just disappears. And then we don't hear about it. And then the community can't chime in and argue. So.
Matt just did something slightly passive aggressive, which is just FYI. I think we're running a bit long. Just thought I'd let you know.
Well, I don't have the normal timer at the bottom because we're doing this new YouTube Studio timer. Beta bullshit. So
yeah, so we are definitely running over.
By 3 minutes. We are so late. I thought we started late.
Yeah. No, we spent a lot of time in the intro.
That's why I said
we spent way more time talking.
I think we're running over. I don't really know.
I blame Mick Womble.
No, I would as well. I mean, that guy's an arsehole. Someone should troll him on Twitter.
Oh. Winter is coming.
So the other thing that I think is that gamers get a bad rap for is this kind of coordinated attacks on people for things they don't like. So it links. So we're linking all of these things together. So entitlement, community, rage, and then using those to kind of gang up on people who blatantly, other than EA, don't deserve it, and Activision Blizzard, they deserve it as well.
Well, Cody mentioned
any chance I get to rag on EA,
the anonymity aspect of it, right? It's like mob mentality.
Sure.
So if like one or two people jump on because they're pissed, then other people are like, well, yeah, I might as well join the crowd here.
Yeah. You know what? That did upset me. I'm mad too. Angry. Okay, great. Oh, wait, there's another person and they chime in. It is the mob mentality. It's let's go get our, torches and pitchforks and then complain and we will change the world. It's a video game, guys.
It's also really easy to do that when it's just typed words.
Oh yeah.
If you actually got your pitchforks, I bet not even half of the people that contributed to the hate of something would actually get their pitchforks out, travel all the way over there to like the Mass Effect thing. I think unfortunately the thing that happened to that was it was at the beginning or early stages of people understanding the power of the internet and the power of what that can do, that as a force itself. Because I think if the game came out maybe 5 years before that, obviously technology wise it wouldn't be able to, but if it came out 5 years before that and we were in the stages of what the internet was, I honestly think that the game itself would have not gotten that criticism, nor do I believe people would be rioted outside of that studio to say, hey, fix my game.
Yeah.
And trying to kind of flick back to what we're talking about in terms of the stigma of gamers. We're all these we're sat there at a keyboard, permanently pissed off, waiting for something to piss us off so we can send out an angry tweet. Or do you know what? I'm going to post something on the unofficial subreddit. Mm-hmm. What? God, I just don't have the energy for that shit.
It's a stigma that gamers are
you're
angry.
A liar, McWomble. You sent a Facebook message.
Right, hold on.
You drank the Kool-Aid.
You did do this.
You deleted it.
Yeah, but then, okay.
That was like 10 years ago.
But I sent it in my own name because I did it on Facebook.
Your profile has a name. Like, yeah, who cares?
No, it's valid that he was identifiable. It wasn't an anonymous notification.
On Facebook, there was a photograph of me with my real name, no pseudonym.
But you could pretend to be anybody on Facebook.
I could pretend to be Mitch Sikorsky.
You could. Well, actually, not really, because my name's already trademarked. Sorry.
Oh no. But
who else could I pretend to be?
You could be me. You just do Mythic Griffon and be done.
But I can spell it correctly.
But kind of segue into something else a little bit along with the rage is, have any of you, I have, and this is with Bloodborne, have thrown my controller?
Nope.
And I definitely threw it, but I do it the smart way. I throw it on the couch where I know the controller will never break.
So it safely lands. You're like, I'm so mad. Okay, it's on the couch. I'm so damn much. I hate that boss.
But has any of you gotten into any kind of rage quit, either quitting a game or throwing your controller when you can't get past the level?
I have Madden.
Flipped my keyboard.
You have?
I've literally flipped my keyboard.
Did it break?
No, it didn't. Thank God, because I don't know what I would have done. I'm like, I can't play for like a week now. It's usually with multiplayer games, and it's usually when I play and I get shot out of nowhere, and I was like, oh no, or I'm sniping something, and all of a sudden my character dies, and I'm like, are you dead? And I'm just mad because I'm like, I had the perfect shot, I would have won the game, and it's flipped. But I'm older, I'm wiser now. I don't do it as much.
Yeah, it's the reason I don't play Madden anymore.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Online Madden or just like Madden in general?
Either.
Either.
Either. I spoke about this on Podcast Reload years ago, and the only time that I've smashed the controller was
smashed.
I would literally stood up in the air, controller straight at the hard floor, and bounced the fucker off the ground.
You're so mad, bro.
That in video.
You're so mad.
And there's just right. That's it. I'm not playing Madden anymore.
Because I rage quit all the time in Madden, McWomble. Every time I throw an interception at a very important point in the game, I'll turn off the game and then I'll restart it. So then hopefully, and then restart the game all over again. So I get my perfect record.
Okay. I'm not so fussed about that. It's just there's certain things about it. Just the AI is bullshit.
Yeah.
Depending on what setting, I fix the settings, so it's all good. It's like it's fair. I think it's fair now.
Yeah,
when logic goes out the window, that's when rage usually kicks in.
Well, I usually throw as furious rage when the interception, the ball thrown, clearly was like all of a sudden like pulled by a magnet to go like to the other side of like 10 feet away from. It's being like, this guy's accuracy is pretty close to almost 100%. How in the world is this throw?
Is that not how footballs work?
And goes right into someone's hands. That's not my team.
That's fair.
Yeah. So speaking of teams and football, it's a good. Oh well, it's not a good segue. I'm just.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Controller.
Roll with it. We'll roll with it.
Doesn't talk enough. Did he say he throws a controller?
Yeah, Matt. Have you ever thrown a controller?
I used to when I was a kid, and I feel like Super Nintendo controllers were built way better than PlayStation controllers today.
They were built for Smash.
Yeah.
They were like, they were good.
I just get this impression if Matt moved to Colorado, he'd just be, I don't know, asleep all the time.
Having a bomb.
Yeah, man, everything's great.
It is legal in Colorado.
Everything's cool.
It's legal
I'm
here
just so
too.
chill.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing, and I was like, this wouldn't be the Beerumverate. It would be a completely different title for an episode.
But fanboyism. So you get this in sport. Okay, I get it, and you get it in sport, but it is rampant in gaming.
Sure.
And the chief purveyor of this rampancy is Mr. Cory Dockendorf, with his blatant and
absolutely
unequivocal
100%.
love,
No argument.
if not devotion,
Passion.
to Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the wedding's next week. You didn't know
Yeah,
about that?
it's a Horde Alliance wedding. It's gonna be great. It's lots of blue and red. It's great. I got a whole theme. No, it's one of those things that, and I will admit 100% that I'm a fanboy. I feel that these are games and things that I'm using regularly. It's part of my day to day. Do they do things that I don't like? Does Blizzard create a new expansion pack or a new feature that I'm not a big fan of? Yes. Does Apple create a new phone that I go, why do you have 3 cameras? 2 were fine. Yes. I don't know. Does something come out that I don't like? Yeah, it's going to happen, but I can't like everything. But when they do hit what I do like on the mark, I'm absolutely a promoter. I'm like, yes, this is it. This is what we wanted. This is definitely impactful for my experience, and I'm totally on board with it. So yes, when you say fanboy, I think fanboys are people that are willing to weather the good and the bad. They're willing to deal with both.
I think I go with something a bit more extreme. The 4 of us are mainly reasoned human beings, and I think when it comes to fanboyism, particularly when it comes to gaming, it just seems extreme.
Well, and it feeds into it, right? Like Sony Xbox. So you have the Xbox and the PlayStation fanboys, right? So why is there an argument there? Oh, there's no cross-platform, so you have to pick a platform. Where did you spend your money? That's
what
really
did
what it
you
comes
grow
down
up
to.
on?
What did you grow up on? Oh, I grew up on Nintendo. Well, there's been some misses with Nintendo, but everybody's
fucking hasn't. Nintendo does not run.
But that's the thing. Really? Do we want to talk about the Wii U, or the Wii in general? Like, there's a lot of things. Sega? Why don't we have a new Dreamcast? There's a lot of things that you can complain about, but you weather the storm. You weather through bad products.
I don't think it's weathering through. It's
promoting
blind.
something.
It's blind obfuscation to something that you believe to be the best. And you will, to the detriment of your own sanity, and I
feel like it's partially investment.
Yeah.
But I mean,
who let him talk?
You paused for a second. I took my opportunity.
Yeah.
Mute him.
No,
I should have wore a red shirt. I stumped him. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I think it's part of its investment. But by the same token, like Sony totally. I feel like Sony kind of screwed me this last.
Really?
Yeah, because I invested so much in like the PlayStation 1 classics.
Sure.
On PS3, and then to get a PS4, and it's like, well, that is just fucking wasted money. I can't download those anymore.
Yep.
And then to think, and I'm sitting there thinking like, well, maybe I should get an Xbox One X or a Scarlet when that comes out, because that's going to be the most powerful console.
Yep.
And then I'm like, well, no, I've been with
Sony. What are you
going
to play on it?
I've been with Sony for so long.
Right? You're like, I'm just going to get that PS5 and just wait till that comes out. It's cool. But I didn't realize I was a console fan. I bought a PS4 and I play that just as much as I play on my PC. PC Master Race, by the way. It's me. But do I buy an Xbox One? Now as an adult, though, like, what are my kids going to play? My son's like, I want to play Minecraft. Well, I can play it on PlayStation. I can play it on PC. I can play it on Xbox. I already have a PS4. I'll just spend $20 and get it on the PS4.
Right. Get on Switch.
Well, here's the hope. And it's like, Yes, it's financial. And I think the thing that I think people are forgetting, like Burkoff, in the moment when you're thinking about your frustration about PS4, well, obviously PS3 is a little bit of a snub because it's a different architecture in regards to how it was created. It's kind of like one of those weird one-offs that happen. So obviously you can't transition things really easily from that. It's like when you were trying to transition your Wii to the you, it had this whole process where you had to fly your spaceship down with your little what is it? What are the creatures called that are Pikmin, yes, and they transfer from one console to the other. It was really ridiculous. My friend had one, and so I got to see it firsthand. But anyways, I think the big thing about fanboyism is, and don't take this personally. Yes,
already do.
Yeah.
Already I feel attacked.
I think the whole point of it is that you make the investment there and you are hopeful. And I think it's all on hope that you just want to make sure that the investment you keep making in that company will continue to pay off for you.
Sure.
So like the example I would use is, why am if I'm any closer to anything, I'm probably a lot closer to in regards to, I have some bias a little bit with Sony, but I think that's because they are justified recently in that is they come up with really great games. Did I own all the other consoles before or tried the other consoles? Absolutely. But when their quality is there, now when the quality goes away, I'll be able to say, yeah, you know what? They don't have really quality games right now. So I'm not justifiably going to buy a PS6 or whatever, a PS5 or whatever it is. But at the time when it was the original PS3, yeah, did I buy one because that's what I knew? Yeah. Was I hopeful that things were going to come out for it, that like I would hopefully be able to play it on this device? Yes. Did I eventually buy a 360 because I had the better games? Yeah. But I think if for the people that only can choose one, they just need to be hopeful that that thing is going to pay off for them in the long run. That the games come out
again, it comes back. Sorry, Mitch, you go. Finish your thought.
Oh, sorry. I one more sentence. Just the only that they're hopeful that in the end, it's worth their investment, that they are going to go through those rough times and, those rough games that people will criticize. They want to make sure that they feel justified that they purchased this game by saying, it's better than what people give it credit for. Oh, it's actually an amazing game. You should play this game. And it's just because they're nervous that they wasted their money on this console because these things are expensive.
Yeah,
I don't think it's just that. And I think you and I don't know. Well, Matt doesn't care about sporting competitiveness.
Sportsters were really sportsting today, and they sportsted really well.
Good old sports. Hey, you guys, you have the Las Vegas Knights. Come on, you got something. They did really well.
Don't they do their own beer?
No, stop it.
Yeah, there's a brewery called Love Lady that does Golden Knights lager.
There is, yeah.
Anyway,
so Mitch and I maybe know this a bit more, which is people talking shit about your team. But you've just got to ride that, because fucking hell, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. I've had to champion mediocrity for the last decade, and it's not the case of you just blindly show devotion to your team. If your team's playing shit, you should be able to say, actually, yeah, we are playing shit.
Yeah.
Not just, oh no, you're wrong. We're the greatest team that's ever lived.
Right. So when Sony doesn't have a good library, you should go, we didn't have a good year. Hopefully next year at E3 we got better.
In this country, we're like second division signs that say, we're by far the greatest team.
But I get where you're going with that, but the only thing I'll push back just slightly, and I don't mean to interrupt mid for you.
Excited about this.
But the thing is, where do people get their information from? Mm-hmm. And that's really important. It's the internet. It's from people that may not understand, like you and me, McWomble, where like you, we're going to use a football reference. I'm so sorry for people that don't know football. Apparently the team that McWomble's team was playing last week was supposed to be Super Bowl contenders, like win the whole thing. And they had done nothing to ever get credit for going that far to winning. But McWomble, you would know, because you know the team, you know your roster, you know your coach, that clearly you have talent on your team that is going to be clearly better than that other team. But because the internet, the media, the hype around that other team was so big, they ignored clear signs that they should have and were going to lose that game. Like an example, like my team with the Bears, like if a quarterback goes out or if a key player goes out that we know are key players, but the other people in the mainstream or don't have the big research that we do on our teams don't know that, they're never going to know that. So they're just going to assume it's bad. So I guess I push back a little bit because you would say like an example of a game like Days Gone for PlayStation. Sure. People were ratting hardcore on that game because of bug issues or if the game was too long, things like that. And it's actually, if you played the game, it's a good game. It's not a great game. It's not like a 9.
I think we're slightly agreeing with each other, but from different angles.
Yes. Weird. No, I don't. Yeah, I think it's a combination of the two together. But I think, unfortunately, people don't look too in depth and unfortunately miss and just go with what the flow is going and
no man's sky
in your direction.
Yeah. Or they just go with the
fanboy wants to make sure the flow goes in the right direction of saying,
right,
this is actually the facts.
You're trying to influence your community to get on your side and be as positive as you are. But a single person trying to influence the community or left side, right side trying to make that conversation becomes very difficult because then when people are interested in whatever the product is, they have to pick a side. Are you for it or are you against it? It's weird, but
there's no gray area.
There's no gray area. Cough, cough, no man's sky.
Yeah, or cough, cough, over blah.
Watch. It's Overwatch.
Over blah. World of Blarcraft.
It's fine. It's fine.
I enjoyed Overwatch, by the way.
Thank you. Vancouver and New York.
I haven't played it in quite some time, but I did enjoy it the first month I played it.
I was at a bar yesterday and just drinking with a couple buds, and they put it on the TV, so I got to play darts, drink beer, and watch Overwatch League, and it was fantastic. It was my perfect world.
Watch Overwatch? That's too much. That's try to say that 10 times fast.
You got to watch Overwatch.
Burkoff, what do you think? Where are you at on all this?
Fanboyism.
I think it's.
Are you a fanboy about anything?
Star Trek,
Final Fantasy 7.
I love that we're like naming things off for him. We're like, Matt, what do you like?
All of those things, yes.
I'm gonna do it with both hands as well.
He went in depression when he dropped his glass and it broke. Like clearly, he's got some fanism.
Yeah, Star Trek, Mass Effect, Final Fantasy, a little bit Sony.
Because I have a question.
We're just naming stuff now.
Hold on. It's slightly irrational, but what's your question?
I have a Star Trek question for you.
Okay.
2 of them. 2. We'll do 2. One, what is your Star Trek? Which one?
Voyager.
You're a Janeway fan.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I see you. All right. Cool. Hold on. No.
Any of this.
Round two. Are you currently watching
Discovery?
The latest?
No.
Yeah. Not at all, right?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna have one more question. Are you gonna watch Picard?
If you don't say yes, we can't be friends anymore.
I will run downstairs right now. I have a bottle of Picard wine from a Picard winery in the UK that I had imported here just so I could drink it for the first episode. Because Next Generation is my Star Trek. So
I like the previews that we're seeing, and they're playing to the heartstrings.
Yeah, they are. With Data and everything else, and
yeah,
7 of 9 is going to be on there. It's right, like that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
We should watch.
The only thing is, it pains me that CBS. Well, okay, McWomble, it's easier for you because you can watch this shit on Netflix.
Yeah, we don't have that luxury here.
We have to pay for CBS All Access, which is a bullshit service.
Yeah,
it's literally you have to pay what is it, $15 a month or something.
Yeah. For CBS.
Yes. That's the only thing I'm going to watch. So why would I give you $15 a month? Anyway.
Talk to me after the show. I have a website where it's not illegal. It's not illegal at all. But you can watch it for $0.
Literally, Mitch is... I got a guy.
I can hook you up.
Hold on a second. How many episodes of Star Trek would you like? Because I have all of them. And I'm like...
Shipped to your house free of charge.
It's not illegal. It's fine.
All the kids are doing it.
That Mitch is the cloaked guy from one of the Resident Evil games that I can't remember what it was.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. What are you buying? Yeah, great.
What are you selling?
Love it. It's not illegal. but I got you. Well done, Mitch. That was a good pitch.
Yeah, well, you didn't help because you made it no longer nonchalant. You made
Absolutely.
it like
Nope.
from the top going.
I'm gonna point
Got a
that
guy.
out.
Find
Absolutely.
him. Got a guy.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway,
Would you
the
give
point
me
that I was
these
going to try
things?
to make was I feel like it's parts tribal and primal all at the same thing, all at the same time.
I love that.
It plays to it plays to our base human instincts. You know, to be a fanboy, to rage out, to, you know, feel entitled towards these things because it does, you know, do something for the reptile brain, I guess.
I think in the end, it's a thing of a collective. It's all about being together. Whether
Another Star Trek reference.
whether you love it, I don't know Star Trek, unfortunately. I've seen the JJ movies. That's as far as my Star Trek.
No, that was a great one.
So when I hook up Burkoff, he needs to hook me up on understanding what I need to do. So anyways, it's all about being a collection together and about, you know, because again, like we said, gaming is can be in a very what's the word I'm looking for? A single experience, or it can be an expansion of a collective group of people.
Sure.
People want connection always. That's what we as human beings want. And so we always want to go towards what people want. And so if it matches our wants and needs, we collectively together enjoy the same thing, and it doesn't go the way we wanted it to go collectively together, we're going to not like it.
So I will, as we slowly end this episode, I will do this.
That's not your line. What are you doing?
Watching you do this. I'm professional. I have a podcast.
Mute him immediately.
Wow, immediately. But I will say, if our communities think that we have that much power, we have that much influence, that we can do these things and make these changes, maybe that if we did this in more of a positive light and we started telling developers, hey, we would really like you to do this, and this is why, X, Y, and Z. I would love to have anybody in these communities that are complaining and bitching about games to actually have to do a pitch deck just one time. One time.
And
then be like, oh, this is really hard.
I think there are games where that is a good example. I mean, like literally look at No Man's Sky. Yes,
Sure.
a lot of blowback in the beginning, but yet the community stayed with it.
And it evolved.
And it evolved into a game that everyone now thinks this is the game it should have been, but I'm glad now it's that game and more.
Exactly.
And so, as long as the game developers, I think in the end, can find the niche community that really is there for the right reason of just saying, hey, I had feedback because I want this game to be better, not because, oh, this is a shit game because it doesn't have this, this, and this. Like, even though you could say it differently and say, hey, you know what would make the game experience better for myself? I wish you could do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And if you just change that mindset, and I think they're doing so much better finding those communities because of those Berghoff community managers. I think that is a big element of it. I think they use them as a way to get to those people so that they can get a positive spin and find something positive in the end for games.
Leverage your promoters over your detractors. Unfortunately, people listen to the detractors because we're more interested in chaos than we are in creation.
Oh yeah, we'd rather see the shit burn down than
hell yeah, absolutely.
I'll get the popcorn ready. Just watch it go.
Yo, Pookie, we're gonna burn this mother down, Pookie. Like that's exactly what it is. So
I don't get that reference.
Oh my god. I'm just gonna send like an American package to you, McWomble. That's just me a box of things that you need to watch,
I don't
understand, drink, imbibe something. There's food. There's a
I had
whole
a bottle
thing.
of
Send him chocolate too. He's probably never experienced real chocolate.
Oh no, he's probably experienced like Swiss bitter chocolate. Like
I've had real chocolate without corn oil and I don't know.
Oh no! This is happening. Hold on. And I want you when the package shows up, I want you to unbox it on this podcast. Is what I want. I want you to be like,
fucking well,
Corey, send me a box. There's a bunch of Cheetos and Hot Pockets and ridiculous beer, and this is happening. Hold on.
Don't worry, Corey. We're getting you on the show as he does it.
Yeah. This is. Yeah. Oh God, yes. And I just want to sit there and be like.
And then as soon as he says he doesn't like it, then you can just
and I'm like
dribble on him.
Lay into him, and it'd be great. Oh no, my Amazon order is already starting. This is happening.
Gifting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it maybe I'm just because I'm an angry, cynical bastard that
you are a Titans fan?
Yeah. Well, I'm also a Scotland.
He didn't say he was
I'm also a Scotland rugby fan.
That's true.
Yeah, so basically cynical, masochistic, angry.
There it is.
Intellectual snob.
We call those gamers.
Yeah, but I don't go online and slag people off for the fun of it. And do you know what? Just a quick, I don't know if this person watches it, but you got booted off the site for calling someone a cunt 3 times and then going on and saying, "Oh, I was only joking." That's not a joke. That's not a joke.
Thing.
That's a ban. I doubt he watches, or she.
But if that person watches, what are you doing? Why are you so mad? Just calm down and just address the person as an adult. Be an adult, for the love of God. And even if you're a kid, grow up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the bigger issue sometimes is themselves more than the actual thing that's in front of them. So they most of the time need to take a step and look at themselves and look at the way they view others or view how people.
I'm saying these horrible things through the process of anonymity, or partial anonymity. But then I actually stand by these things and prove such a horrible person that you are. Or say, "Oh no, you can't take a joke." And so, have you read some of the things that you've written?
Just because you say "just kidding" at the end of a sentence doesn't mean that it's okay.
Unless you're saying it to Matt Burkoff.
Just kidding. Or McWomble. JK. Just kidding. My dog has been useless this entire episode, by the way. He has been absolutely.
Well, no, he hasn't. He's been wiping his bum over the Overwatch.
He's not wiping any. He's just being. There was one point where I thought he was going to be sick on it. Which you were so excited though, weren't you? Just ready to throw up.
No, he's keeping it nice and fluff for him.
It's very safe for work, is what he's doing right now with the Overwatch. So.
Where's Reinhardt? My master loves Reinhardt. My master is the best.
Wiggle. Yeah. Look, he knows. He knows what's up. Yeah, you know what's up. Yeah.
All right. So I will say thank you, Corey. It's been extremely entertaining having you on.
Thank you very much.
And I don't even have to ask for McWomble's permission. Sorry, I'm going this way. Sorry, I don't have to ask for your permission, McWomble. You're back.
I'm actually above you on my screen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. You are welcome anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. We have lots of video game news coming out in the next. It's fall, right? So we have a lot of games coming out.
Yeah.
So
we have
Corey,
lots to talk about.
You have a podcast. What is your podcast?
Plug your shit.
Plug it.
Wow. Awkward phrasing? Are we not doing that anymore? Are we not doing phrasing?
Oh, if you watched our what is it, the Coffee and Beer cast?
Yes.
Times with Matt Burkoff and I. Phrasing was all over that thing.
that was bad.
That was
shameless.
You guys can find us, myself and Brian Bentley. We have a weekly podcast that we do where we discuss video games, and then we really just have a starting point, and then we go from there. You can find myself, Brian Bentley, at Quiglin, my compatriot, Quiglin. Find me on Twitter and most of social media as Mythic Griffon, MythicGriffon. Yes, McWomble, I know that's not how it's spelled, but guess what? That's what was available. You guys can find us on shoutengine.com/startingpoint. We're on most of your social medias. We're on Apple iTunes. We're on Google Play. We're on, like I said, Shout Engine. So, or you can just follow us on Twitter at @startingpoint. The A is very important because if you don't do that, you get this weird religious site, or you get Chris Evans' Save the World site. We're in a fight with Chris Evans right now. Like, we had the cooler starting point, but everybody loves Chris Evans because he's better looking. So we're in a conversation with him. But yeah, check us out, twitter.com/startingpoint. And we'd love to get your feedback. So thank you guys so much for having me on.
Better spot you can check them out on is if you go to sifted.net.
Oh, hey, there's that too.
Go to our community section where you can not only find his stuff, you can find our stuff on the show.
Yep. And we love Sifted. We get a lot of our stories that we discuss from sifted.net. Brian is on there all the time. I actually have a lifetime membership, but yeah, check us out and check out Sifted Games. It's way better than Polygon or Kotaku, just saying. I'm just gonna put that out there. And nobody got content ever again.
I'm
right,
glad that
McBumble,
I
where
spelled
can they-
Griffin correctly because that was an hour and a half, and I would have.
So
I would have been like,
Griffon. But the thing is that so the proper spelling is Griffin, Gryphon, which is the half breed eagle lion breed, but it wasn't available.
Snake tail.
Yeah, there's the snake tail. Yeah, so it's like a chimera but cooler. But yeah, Griffin is what I went with.
All right, McBumble, where can they find you on stuff?
I'm mainly on a bar stool in a pub called the Anslope down the road.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at Mitch Sikor, or you can find me at Mitch on Sifted. So again, like McWomble said, if you want to be on the show, just message any of us. Burkoff, where can they find you? And you can sign us out.
At Burkoff everywhere. Sifted, Twitter, wherever you can type that in, you'll probably find my ugly face. So,
The pink hat.
Yeah.
I won't lie, that costume is legit. Whatever that hat is, amazing. My daughter, she's like, "Who is that?" And I was like, it's like, wow. I can actually tell her that I've spoken with the man and I've seen the hat live. That's amazing.
And on that
Legends
note,
will be told at the bar. This is what's going to happen.
At that note, gentlemen, we're out.
That's fantastic.